Hey guys, let's tie us a little fly today. I've got a White River size 10 curb shank hook. It's really, I don't have a particular name or anything for this fly. It's kind of a fly I tie with ringneck pheasant and some dubbing. I'm going to use some 140 UTC thread on this. I'm going to use the 140 so I can leave the tag in and just wrap back around the body. We'll use some, I've got some white saddle hackle here. I'm going to use some of the fibers off of it to tie a tail with. It's just white fibers for the tail. Just there's probably a good 25 or 30 there. You know, it's a pretty good little tail. Tie down the hook. Get a few of those fibers cut out of there. The dubbing I'm going to be using is extra fine. And I think it's a brown olive. I think it's the one I like. Okay. Let's see what it says there. Yeah, it says brown olive on it. That's what I thought it was. I like this super fine dub, and it dubs pretty easy. I've tied a few of these flies and forget that I left the rib back here and be just about finished and think, oh my God, how did I leave the rib back here? So I mean, don't forget that you left the rib. I mean, sometimes stuff like that's easy to do. And listen, I mean, I've done it a million times. I thought I got me enough, guys. I'm sorry. I hate going back 15 times dubbing. Get it wrapped up there to the thorax. And like I said, now's a good time to put your rib on. I'm going to counter wrap the rib here. Start right at that tail. Oh, I let it slip on me a little bit. There we go. There we go. And this really puts a nice segment in at that black contrast. With that brown olive dubbing. Well, I like the color of it anyway. I don't have so many toothy critters where I live here, so I mean, I know the ribbon is to save your fly. I mean, I might have a vicious panfish, you know, that rips mine up. I'm kind of glad there's no toothy critters where I'm at. I mean, there's some pike and some muskie and a few of the, you know, the big lake here around. But as far as trout or anything like that, I mean, you'd have to travel for that. I've got a ringneck pheasant feather. I think the modeling on them is a really pretty feather. When you peel that down, be careful. You don't want to break your stem too much. They will. You think, oh, that looks like a real robust feather, but I mean, it will break the stem on it. And the tips and things are softer than you think. And I like that color in them. It's kind of got a blue, green, something like that in there. Pretty cool. I like them. You don't see a load of flies, you know, like dainty flies that are tied from pheasant tail like that. People are like, oh no, you're wrong. But I mean, you really don't. I mean, a lot of them are crawdad patterns because of the modeling and stuff like that. But you do have, you know, a few caddis things tied with them. Try to kind of pull that back a little bit. Yeah, I mean, you see a ton of ringneck pheasant patterns that are like a crawfish pattern. Things like that, you know, people like but like I said, there again, the modeling of the feather for that. Get that stem out of there. I'm going to take a little bit more of that dubbing. Get me a little bit of that super fine. Try not to get too much. I'll have too much, excuse me, for the head and not enough for, or too much for the head and not enough for the body like I had. Get tongue-tied. We'll wrap us up a little head on here. Like I said, I figured I'd have a little bit too much. It's no biggie. We'll get rid of it. Like I said, that's super fine dubbing. I really like it. We'll hold that back. Put a small head on the fly. I'll just put 2 or 3 little knots in there because I'm going to use resin on the head. So don't have to tie it in as crazy when you use resin. And that is a buggy looking fly. I'm sure there's 1,000 patterns out there that have a name for this fly. I mean, it's just, I'm never really, not saying it's not out there and somebody doesn't have it, but I mean, I've never really seen it or anything. I'm sure it's nothing new. But if you don't like that, if you don't like all that on there around your hook or anything, you can kind of take it away from there, kind of flatten it out a little bit. Same goes for this. I mean, you can pull away, you know, don't cut them, pull them away, you know, if you think that's too many up there on top. I kind of like them furry like that. I mean, I think it's pretty cool that way. So take it out of there, kind of give you a little closer look if the camera will come into it, where you can see the segmented body. I mean, I've got a few of them I tie up, you know. Another one. We have a bunch more there. I just like that fly. I like stuff that looks buggy. I mean, when you get it out there and get some floating on it, they'll knock the crap out of it in the evenings or early in the mornings, things like that. When bugs and stuff start coming out to drink and things like that, you'll see bees and stuff hitting the water. Guys, I appreciate it. See you next time.